Case recently decided in the federal court, and it was a bench trial, meaning that the judge decided and issued an 18-page opinion, and the case is on negligence. It's Wolf versus the United States. That's why it's in federal court. The defendant was the United States, and it's a claim under what is called the Federal Tort Claims Act. The reason I want to speak about this in a series of blogs is due to the fact that it's a negligence case, and the judge rather meticulously goes through his reasoning as to why there's negligence and what the damages are. The case arose from an interesting fact situation. It was an outing of U.S. Army National Guardsmen and their families, and a softball game had taken place in the morning, and then a pickup softball game took place in the afternoon. In the pickup game, the plaintiff, who was a 13-year-old, came on the field, and he was known to be on the field, as were other relatively young people. And this boy, unfortunately, was standing near the third base line and was walking towards home plate as a play was developing. It was a play in which the batter had hit a triple and was coming around the bases when the boy was struck by the catcher. The ball had been thrown in from the outfield, and the catcher was trying to get the runner out at third, and this poor boy was hit very hard on the head by the softball as the catcher was throwing to third base. And the question was the softball game supervised properly by the U.S. military officer who was in charge of the picnic? And the judge evaluated several factors. One thing I want to say is the judge did find comparative negligence, and that was in an amount of 20%. That is, the boy was deemed negligent, and the judge stated what the standard is, that a child is held to children of like intelligence, experience, and maturity. And there was some negligence on the part of this boy. But the greater negligence, 80%, was on the United States government through its agent, and that would be the gentleman who was in charge of this picnic for the U.S. Army National Guard. And unfortunately, the injuries were quite bad. It was a significant head injury, which has led to seizures, although they are now controlled, a cognitive loss, and the parents had what was called a parental loss of consortium. The legal issue was, should this young man have been on the field during active play? And I'll get into more details of the liability in a future blog, and then yet another blog will discuss the damages and how the judge came to a determination of those damages, because in our cases in Superior Court of Massachusetts, we only see the amount of money and after a determination of negligence. But here we get the reasoning of the court, the reasoning of the judge, and then we'll draw some general conclusions about this case, which is basically a simple, if anything is ever simple, negligence case. Thank you.